Hey everybody, it's Emma. Thank you very much for joining me in what I'm hoping is going to be a short and sweet June favorites. I only have a few things to talk about this month. This is the extent of most of my makeup wearing over this past month. I've put eyeshadow on maybe a handful of times, and I really haven't been reaching for many lip products except what I got on my lips right now, which I will talk about in a second. So it has been a very, one might say, boring makeup month for me, but it is what it is. So I'll just share with you some of the things that I've been enjoying or using a lot, and let's just dive in. So I do have one new product that I don't think I've mentioned on my channel before. This is from Paul Mitchell, and it is the Color Care Color Protect Locking Spray. So this is a UV protection spray that I've been using in my hair to help keep it from fading. Now, if you've ever dyed your hair some crazy unnatural color, you know that these kinds of colors tend to fade faster than a natural hair color. So you have to be really careful with them. Not only in the sunlight, but as far as washing your hair, all of that stuff. So I tend not to, as odd as that is, because I like to dye my hair crazy colors, you would think I would be really into hair care products. I'm really not. They don't move me very much. But this I've been really enjoying. It smells good. It smells a little bit hairspray actually, but I kind of like that. It's very nostalgic to me. I used to dance, and so, you know, hairspray always reminds me of ballet recitals and kind of that excitement before going on stage. So it's not quite as harsh as hairspray, but it has that sort of scent, which probably doesn't make any sense, but I really liked it. I mean, my hair's doing pretty good. You can start to see some roots happening, but my hair still is really vibrant, and I've been happy with this product. The next thing I want to mention is from Skinfix. I've talked about this on my channel before. This is their coconut water hydrating mist, and basically it's a hydrating mist. So I like to use this in the morning as part of my morning skincare routine. I'll wash my face, I'll spritz some of this on and either just kind of let it dry or rub it in, and then I will follow up with my SPF moisturizer, and it just feels nice, you know. It just feels nice, and I enjoy it as part of my routine. The spray is very, very fine. I actually find I have to hold this quite close up to my face, and it disperses really nicely. So you can see that my hand is pretty evenly covered, and I really like it. I recommend. Next up will be no surprise, I'm sure, if you've watched any of my previous videos in the past couple months. This is the Buxom. There we go. Buxom Show Some Skin. It's still not going to show up, but it's the Buxom Show Some Skin Weightless Foundation. This is a light to medium coverage, broad spectrum SPF. I think the packaging is super cute with this kind of lacy detail, and it's just my perfect everyday foundation. I have it in the shade Tickle the Ivory, which I believe is the lightest shade it comes in, and it's just a nice light coverage. It just kind of takes down the redness in my skin. I'm actually not wearing it, surprisingly, right now. I'm trying out a sample I got of a Dr. Jart BB cream. But if you want to see this in action, I will link a video up in the corner down below. You can check it out. And it's really nice. It does layer on top of itself well. You're certainly not going to get a full coverage, but if, like, on my nose tends to be more red than the rest of my skin, I have a little bit more redness right here, I can just dab a little extra of this on top and it takes it down, but my skin still shows through. So if that's something that appeals to you, I highly recommend checking this out and seeing if it's comes in a shade that works for you. Another thing that is no stranger to my channel or favorites videos is this from Wet n Wild. It was a limited edition product. It is one of their color icon trios. I think this was spring or summer 2015. I'll double check and put it below. It's in the shade Sunset Junction. I love this. It's what I'm wearing on my face today. I have the bronzer and all the bronzery places, this blush, and then the highlight is one of my favorite highlights of all time. I'll also swatch this out for you just for fun. It's a very smooth, creamy consistency. They are just, it's some of the best quality stuff that I feel like Wet n Wild has ever come out with, and it was limited edition, and that's sad, but they all have a little bit of a sheen. They're not sparkly. Even the highlighter, which I've obviously swatched quite heavy, so you can just see the tone of it, but they all work really well together. They work really well separately. I love the bronzer. It has kind of a yellowy undertone, which works for my skin tone. They're really easy to work with, easy to blend. Let me blend these out a little bit more so you can just, well, I mean, you can see it on my face. You can see it on my face, but I really, really love this product, and I'm, you know, I've had it for a couple years, and I've barely made a dent into it, even though I use it all the time. So I think this will probably last me for a while, but I'm terrified of the day that this runs out because it is that good. And other than that, I just have a couple of lip things to mention. One of them is from Pacifica. This is their SPF 30 lip balm, a mineral color lip balm, broad spectrum sunscreen, water resistant for 80 minutes, 100% vegan and cruelty free. I have it in the shade Nude, which is just a nice kind of neutral color. It doesn't really show up too much on the lips, but I wanted something that I could throw on my face if I'm not wearing much or any makeup, which has been my tendency recently, and it wouldn't look too awkward. And this really, it just works really well. It's my favorite SPF lip balm that I've found so far. It's inexpensive. I believe this was $3 or $4. It does not smell like anything. It does not taste like anything. It's fantastic. It's not quite as moisturizing as some other lip balms, but it's by no means drying. It's really comfortable. I really like it. And then what I have on my lips right now is another product from Buxom. This is one of their full-on lip polish glosses in the shade Emma, because I obviously have to have that. Now, I know that Emma kind of became a much more popular name more recently, thank you friends, but when I was growing up, I could never find anything that was called Emma, or, you know, those like souvenir name tags or card license plates and all of that stuff. There was never an Emma, so it's still kind of thrilling to me to see things with my name on it. And it's really pretty. I'm wearing it right now. It doesn't really show up as anything in the tube. It looks kind of pearlescent. It's not sparkly though, and it does have a little bit of that tingly sensation, but it's a very soft version. It's very cooling. It feels quite moisturizing, and I love it, even though it did hurt me a little bit to spend $20 on a lip gloss, but I love it, and it's my name, so no regret. So the last favorite I want to mention is actually a book series, and I am in deep with the Mercedes Thompson book series by Patricia Briggs. So if you've never heard of these books, when I first was told about them, one of my students said, "Oh, you're gonna love this book," and she's been letting me borrow them, which has been really generous. But when she was first describing them to me, I was kind of like, yeah, that sounds great, and then being very judgy in my mind, because it's, you know, like vampires and werewolves, and I'm just getting like flashes of Twilight in my head, which is not my cup of tea. But these books are really, really good. So Mercy Thompson is the main character, and she is a mechanic, and she is a badass. She's amazing, and she also is a walker, which means that she can turn into a coyote anytime she very well pleases. So she's a little bit magical, and, you know, she lives next to a werewolf, and she's friends with a vampire. And I know that it sounds kind of hokey and silly, but I find them to be really entertaining books, not too heavy duty, so they're light reading, but they're not vapid, if that makes sense. I've really been enjoying them. If you have read them, let's please talk. And if you haven't and are looking for something to kind of get lost in, and there I think are 10 books now at this point, so if you want something that you can really dive deep in with, maybe check it out if that sounds interesting. Or even if you're like, I don't know, I recommend giving it a go just to see, because I definitely was like when I was first learning about them. But I've been wicked into them. So I'm in the middle of River Marked right now, if you've read the book, so let's talk. And that is all I have for you. This, I think, might be the shortest favorites video I've ever done. I can't think of any fails I've had over this past month, although I'm sure once I get this edited and uploaded, I'll be like, oh yes, of course. But I'll talk about it next month. In the meantime, I thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, let me know what your favorites have been this month. And let me know if you kind of go through phases of really wearing a lot of makeup and then maybe not wearing a lot of makeup, if it's kind of a more fluid thing, or if you tend to kind of wear the same amount all the time throughout the year. I'm really curious. I definitely am one of those wavy people. So until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day and weekend and week or whatever you are in right now, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.